never
There's no
had
time
fun.
fop this week.
No time fop this week. Although in our hearts, I think you'll always be a time fop. That's true. That's true. Oh.
Welcome to the I Hate Critics movie review podcast. I'm professional film critic Sean Patrick. With me is Amy.
Hi.
And MJ.
Hello.
I did change my name to Bamboo Turner, though, so I really would like to be referred to as Bamboo Turner.
And I changed my name to Not Paul.
Not Paul. Not Paul. And I think it's important that you have some context, Sean, in that I'm changing my name to an actual Bamboo Turner. Brought to you by True Living. A product by Dollar General. Bamboo Turner.
The product is made of bamboo.
Yes. But Amy is not
Right.
made of bamboo.
And I am also not safe on nonstick surfaces. Oddly enough.
Who's our sponsor?
Oh, apparently it's not Dollar General.
True.
The Pontiac Fiero, which is the Dollar General of cars, oddly enough.
You can actually pull one right off the shelf.
That's right. You absolutely can.
The last place you can get one.
Some would say the only place. Wow.
They should have sold the Fiero at Dollar General.
You know what? We probably do.
What's the weirdest Dollar General product you've ever seen?
Oh, that's hard. Off-brand condoms? My favorite is, and I never thought this was real. I thought it was just something that happened in TV show and movies. But I have had two young men come in and go, excuse me. Where are the condoms? They whisper it. And then I'm like, it's right back. And then I like to walk them up and I'm like, these are the largest. So they never feel sad. That's just another service I provide at Dollar General. Yeah.
Price check on condoms!
We have a little pup who just is trying to sleep on the pillow down here.
Aw.
That's
really
wonderful.
hope he falls asleep and doesn't wake up until midnight.
No, because you guys will both leave and then I'll have no one to talk to. So wake up in about an hour and a half, please. Thank you. Just let us finish the fucking podcast for once.
I would appreciate it. I would really appreciate getting through a podcast without any barking.
Same.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
What a weird sensation.
The weird sensation is watching a good movie for the first time on this.
Yeah, how do we do that?
I don't even know where to begin, and I just
There
realized
were no references to time fop this entire movie?
No. I had a minor reference to Bruce Willis being very moist and almost seeing Little Bruce.
Yeah, I did see Little Bruce.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I wasn't asking for that, but there it was.
I manifested it for you. Yeah. Yeah, we watched Pulp Fiction today.
We had a Color of Night flashback there, just briefly, you know.
A trauma flashback. God.
We all went colorblind.
That's right.
This is quite the year for Bruce Willis, apparently.
Well, yeah, and I think that it only, I was going to say got worse, but like, he was one of the biggest stars of the time. He really was. And it just continued to make those movies. And then, and then he appeared on Friends and stuff because he was one of the biggest stars of all time. So
huge.
Probably the
huge
hugest.
star. Almost as big as me.
Oh, God. No. I want to have a good day. Yeah, so.
It's a movie. It's a movie called Pulp Fiction, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Pulp Fiction.
Directed by Quentin Tarentino.
Yep.
And starring Bruce Willis as Butch. There's no real star to this movie.
No, because you know what? They're all stars. They're all stars to us. And they all can take home a participation ribbon.
Tarantino divides this story up so perfectly between his cast, and they all just, it's a perfect ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is not anyone I would lift out of this and say, this person needs to be out of the movie.
Although I would say this, when it comes to stills, when you're looking at a still from this movie, Bruce Willis is not going to stand out unless he is maybe in the boxing ring because he just looks like your everyday Joe Schmo. But when you see a still of John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, that's who you remember the most from this movie. And I realize as I'm watching this, I'm like, yeah, I know, I get it. I could see why Bruce Willis's part makes sense to this story, but I almost still feel like I don't need it.
That said, his performance is phenomenal. Like the way he dials down the star power and dials down his energy, it just perfectly matches what this character's supposed to be giving.
You? I didn't care. He did.
I don't know.
You either liked him or you didn't.
I liked his performance. I didn't like the character, but I liked his performance.
Yeah. I liked his girlfriend better.
Yeah. I don't like watching movies where guys just yell at their girlfriends.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant.
Same.
It's very uncomfortable.
I didn't think I would have a weird trigger to that, but that moment when he is pissed that he can't find his dad's watch, I got scared. I felt like I need to go in a corner and wait for it to be done.
See, I was like, he threw a perfectly good TV and he's gonna have to pay for that shit. Like,
there's that
makes me upset when people destroy things that don't need to be destroyed. If it's old and it doesn't work anymore, fine, destroy it. But if it's still working or if you're gonna have to pay for it, don't touch it.
Yeah, but counterpoint, what if that thing had been in your dad and your dad's best friend's ass for 7 years?
Well, I don't think you put it
I would never touch that thing, ever. No.
I'm picturing a TV-shaped ass now, though. It took so long to get it up there. It's never going to get it out. Unless you have dysentery, which apparently just gets rid of everything.
Was it fully keistered or just were they clenching the whole time?
If you were clenching the whole time, you have to have the strongest ass on the planet.
It had to be fully keistered, didn't it?
Oh, my God. Oh my God. I mean, I forget where I put things anyway. And then leave that.
I don't know if you'd forget that.
No. Every day it's a constant reminder that there's a watch in your asshole.
It's another reminder that time is passing.
In your ass.
Time is passing.
Oh, that was bad.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. God bless him.
Christopher Walken. Man. You said he looks like Elon Musk.
I did. He looked like Elon Musk, right?
Exactly.
At certain angles, it was like, you could be like his sibling or something.
Deeply upsetting. Although I will say, Christopher Walken looked much younger than Elon Musk because Elon Musk always looks like he's 47 years old. He probably looked that way in the womb too.
Did you see his ridiculous robots?
No.
Oh my God. Elon Musk invented Cybermen. That's what happened.
I would disagree with that in that I know the lore of Doctor Who, and Elon Musk had nothing to do with it.
He reinvented. He stole their idea and created them.
Did he make them look like the Cybertruck? Because I just feel like there's enough ugly in this world.
They do not look like the Cybertruck, but they look horrible, and they have human voices.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
He did a live stream this week. D'Angelo Wallace did a video on it where he was showing off his newest invention, like his cab. He's got a cab, and then he's got a bus that looks like a toaster.
Jesus.
There are people in here. There is a brain. There are bones in here.
Oh, if you open it up, then it looks like ramen noodles.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that makes me sad. That one episode.
That's if you're wondering what happened to those former Twitter employees that suddenly got the copying slipped.
Yep, that's right.
They've been turned into Cybermen.
They have chosen to assimilate, and life is much happier now that they have no feelings. So, just like Elon.
Show Amy Elon's giant toaster.
That's his giant toaster.
I feel like I've never asked to look at this, but... Now, why couldn't the Cybertruck look like that? The Cybertruck would just, like, slam a few, big, huge pieces of flashing together. And that actually doesn't... That looks like something that, came out of like Metropolis.
It looks like a toaster.
It looks like a toaster.
It looks like a
It
really...
looks nothing like a toaster.
It
looks like a
so
60s
much
toaster.
like a toaster.
Like nothing like
It is such a toaster.
A toaster would never be at that angle. It doesn't make any sense. It looks more like a train.
It's a futuristic toaster.
Yeah, it's a future toaster.
So
It springs them out.
So it's just for future bread then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. What's future bread?
Human beings.
Oh.
The human beings that Elon will cook and eat for himself as the world is baking from global warming that he says doesn't exist.
The ones that he doesn't put in his giant metal suits. Or get or make money off of with the chairs.
Man, doesn't Elon Musk seem like the kind of guy who's going to eventually propose the idea of Soylent Green? Like, we got all these dead bodies around and all these people who kind of like don't really have any purpose. We can line them up. If they want to die, we'll give them a couple bucks and then we turn them into food. Then we've solved the food problem, guys.
Wow. I think you've thought about it more than Elon has. But yeah, no.
I've actually seen Soylent Green, so that is the premise of Soylent Green.
I just hate Elon Musk so much.
That's valid.
Yeah, and I feel like I hate a lot of people. So it's like me saying I hate Elon Musk is not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think people really understand how much I hate Elon Musk. Like with the passion of a billion suns. I hate that man.
Almost as much as his daughter hates him.
I was just going to say Grimes is not his daughter. But I can see why you'd think that. God.
He has multiple children who hate him.
Oh.
Don't you feel bad for him?
You know what? Again, I can't have children, but he can have a bunch of kids. How does that work?
And name them weird fucking shit.
Oh,
But
that's more Grimes than him, though.
But the
Well,
thing
no,
is, like, his stupid little robots that he created, his Cybermen, he's like proposing that they're going to like, they'll walk your dog, or they'll go grocery shopping, or they'll read to the kids. And it's like, Elon, I want to walk my dog. I want to babysit my own kids. I'll go grocery shopping. I'll take the kids with me. It's time with my family. I know you don't have a family that you like or that likes you and wants to spend any time with you, which is why you invent robots. But I don't need that.
Maybe he thinks that that's what's normal. Like that's what his parents kept saying as he was growing up.
Yeah.
Like the trauma, and then it's finally like manifesting in this way.
Like, I do wonder if like everything he does is sort of some expression of his like the various things that are wrong with him. Like he can't see anything other than like, this is perfectly normal. I don't know why everybody thinks this isn't normal. This is perfectly normal.
And then you just like you'd want to hug him, but then no one should touch him ever.
Yeah.
You get the shock of their life because his heart's made of tin.
He wants to just like, what are we supposed to do while robots are doing everything that we're supposed to be doing?
Sleeping, because I would love that.
See, I would like a robot to do my chores. Like, I'll cook, but I would like it to do my dishes.
Yes.
If I could just have some hands that just do the dishes and put them through,
Invent
then
that.
it'd be great.
Invent that,
Great.
Elon.
I just like one hand that just feels me up on occasion and says, hey, you are not alone. By the way, this bra does not fit you. There's a robot that Elon surprisingly has not made.
Well, that we know of.
That we know of. Exactly.
I'm not sure. The next person that he marries, I want a DNA check on that to make sure. If it comes out, if it's pumping motor oil,
Might be a
it
metal
might,
test. I don't know.
This is my wife, Mrs. Roboto. It's an odd name. What a strange name. Why doesn't she have a face?
Start saying the same phrases over and over again. Elon is great. Elon is great.
And then it dances.
It's walking really slowly everywhere. And serving drinks with a cowboy hat on. It's great.
Elon has fucked every one of those. Every one of those robots. You buy one of those for $23,000. Elon has had sex with every one of them.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. You can't do it.
No.
You can't prove I'm wrong.
You cannot. You have no way to do that.
I may have no proof that I'm right, but you can't prove it wrong.
And that should be deterrent enough.
Of course, with Elon's fans, they'd probably be like, "It's got real Elon DNA on it, really? I'll pay $33,000."
Oh my god!
He just has to touch it. He just has to touch it. That's all, and I'll pay extra.
There are probably some.
Sir, this is a public place. Put your pants back on.
I'm disturbed, but I know that there are people out there. Because there's a person for every personality, everything.
Yeah.
A person has done everything, and I don't want to know the people that really...
They're really that much into Elon Musk?
Yeah.
There are a lot of them out there. They were all at that meeting, actually.
Yeah.
The stock price for Tesla after he revealed his new just tanked. It just took such a drop.
Gone.
It was so funny. Like the day after he made his announcement on his stupid robots and his toaster bus and
What is toaster bus?
the stock price for Tesla just
Did it?
Yeah.
It dropped. It dropped.
I feel like you guys should have told me this sooner. This is like worth celebrating.
Well, we're celebrating it now.
We just watched, or I just found out about it this morning, and then he saw it, and then, no, he saw it first.
I mean, good for us, right? Like
Yes.
that's a win for humanoid Americans, right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Jesus. Fuck you, Elon.
Exactly.
So, you know what's great is that he wasn't in Pulp Fiction.
He
That
was not.
The gorgeous Christopher Walken.
That was.
in it.
Walken looked great.
Walken the Great. And again, could be the only actor who could tell that story about sticking a watch up your ass and you enjoy it.
He's convincing.
Yep.
He does not let you believe for a moment that he's joking.
Right.
Like there's no sarcasm to it. It's a straight ahead presentation of the fact that this watch has been in someone's ass for the past 7 years.
Yep. Beautifully done.
That watch really needs to be in bleach for 7 years now.
Fuzzy was more like, you could frame that. You could do anything with it.
You can grab some gloves, put it in a nice cabinet.
Yeah.
Display it. But away from people, put a bit of glass between every person and that, because
it might smell.
What item of your father's would you like to have had up his ass for a while before he gave it to you?
That's a great question.
Absolutely nothing.
There's nothing of your father's that he had up his ass for a good 5 years. For you, mind you, you ungrateful cunt face. This was for you. What wouldn't you mind being up your dad's ass for 5 years? Then he gets dysentery and then you get it back.
There is nothing, absolutely nothing I would take after it has been in my father's ass.
It's so ungrateful.
Amy, same question.
Do you guys want something from my father's ass?
I would not mind having my dad's medal from Ducks Unlimited with his name on it and everything. Because he knew after all of the years of being in Ducks Unlimited, as I have, it would be very nice to have a little memory of Daddy.
He carried it up there because he forgot it was there. He sat on it one day and just forgot.
Then he got dysentery. And then he's like, you know what? Give it to Amy. No one else cares.
On his deathbed.
That's what happened.
He shits that thing out and goes, Amy.
Oh, you know what? It's just nice to be thought of. Because no one thinks of me. Like, I'm that person in your cell phone that you never put a picture to. I'm just like, they just know it's me. You only put the letter A in there. That's me. The fact that my dad died of dysentery and still gave me his Ducks Unlimited plaque, I mean, that means something. That means something to me.
See, well, you're not just an empty face in my phone. You are either your face or your face on a pile of bacon.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have. Where's the old one of yours? It's under the contact bacon bits. Where did my contact go?
See, again, my name's under Bacon Bits. No one wants to admit that I'm in their phone. No one. Not one.
Bacon bits.
Bacon.
There it is.
But what's the association with bacon
man,
bits?
it got
Positivity,
those.
love.
A trip to
Bacon
the
bits?
county fair where we went with Mandy and Angela. That's why you were in there as Bacon Bits, because that was one of the pigs there.
Oh.
And we liked that name, and so we were like, okay, and
My
then
name's
we called
Bacon
me
Bits.
Missouri Hobo.
That's right. Missouri Hobo is still in my phone.
Yes.
But I would like to be Bamboo Turner now in your
Oh, okay,
phone.
yes.
Thank you.
Well, right now you're Amy Kernan Red Sheehan.
Oh, yeah, I think I did that on purpose. Let's take that out because I've divorced both of them now.
Oh,
I am Bamboo Turner.
okay.
Bamboo Turner. Well, I mean, let's face it, they're both married. I just feel like I shouldn't take, it's kind of greedy.
You're inspired by the Turner Diaries.
That's right.
Bamboo
And
Turner.
by the Turner Diaries, I mean Janine Turner from Northern Exposure. Her diaries.
See, this is too good a movie for this podcast.
It is. It really. We don't deserve you, Pulp Fiction. We don't deserve you, Quentin Tarantino. I think we're just shitting on it because let's face it, it was a Miramax film, wasn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately. It's
So-
got that association, yes.
We'll just shit on it because of that, but essentially,
it holds up. 30
it's
years
such a
later,
great
this
fucking
movie is
movie.
still fucking amazing.
there's not a moment there's not an actor in this, again, for me, aside from Bruce Willis, that I didn't adore. Again, Eric Stoltz looks gorgeous in this movie. I want to marry him. I'm sure he's probably married.
Amy's obsession with stringy-haired weirdos continues.
He looks like a shower. He just put on what is it? That racer T-shirt.
Speed Racer?
Speed Racer. I wanted to say Boy Racer, but that's a Morrissey song. And then because he looks like a younger dude. If you think about it, with the robe, the T-shirt, walking around, giving out drugs to people.
I think what you're seeing is in like 4 years, that character becomes a Gary Oldman character.
Oh.
And True Romance.
And True Romance. That Gary Oldman. The one that everybody cannot believe would be attractive to me. Look, I know what I like.
Maybe Tarantino just knows your heart.
I think Tarantino knows me better than my own family. That's what I think. And that's fine. That's fine. After watching this, though, I do want to go back and watch Jackie Brown because I love Jackie Brown. We went and saw that in the theater. And I remember thoroughly enjoying, again, great soundtrack. This has all of those really, like, I almost said it. Iconic song moments. God, I hate myself. But they really are. They really are. Even that conversation with Bruce Willis and Marsellus in the beginning, you got Al Green back there. I mean, there's just so many great moments. I am a little less of a fan of kind of that surfer music that can fuck off.
Urge overkill, though.
Of course, Urge
Ooh.
Overkill.
Ooh.
I mean, would it have been better had it been the Neil Diamond version? Perhaps, but UO has a special place in my heart, so that's fine. Yeah, I mean, this movie it's just a testament to the fact that people are saying there's no good movies anymore, and then here comes 1994 and says, yeah, you know what, this year has sucked. Have us.
Here's an all-time great movie.
Here's a great movie. You deserve it. You've tolerated enough.
Suffered through all this fucking garbage this year.
Yep.
You watched A Good Man in Africa. Here, have Pulp Fiction.
You deserve better. What I like is there's a lot of blood in this movie, but there's also a lot of humor, which and it's done so well. It's almost nonchalant, and it's in a way, you know what I mean?
There's just this. There's this. The vibe that Tarantino creates from the first moment. It doesn't feel like any other movie.
Nope.
Something about the way it's shot and the score.
Yeah.
And just the swagger of his actors under his guidance, something he's bringing out of them. The energy is just entirely different.
It is. Didn't we have a rash of people trying to make things this after that?
Oh yeah.
Which is so depressing.
The Quentin Tarantino you have at home.
Oh, that's true.
Remember? Dollar store Tarantino.
It's like, just stop it.
Yeah.
Let somebody who knows what they're doing. Remember when he directed an episode of ER around this time?
That was so cool.
So cool. So cool. And it shouldn't have been. Like, ER, I mean, again, it was a popular show, but I
Right.
mean, a lot of people wouldn't even know to go back to that episode, but it was damn cool. Damn cool.
The thing about like Tarantino, his entire career is like, there are some I think who are, I think trying to undermine him by saying he's derivative, and he's not. Because we're all of us, every one of us, me, you, everyone, you are the result of your influences. And he has taken the things that have influenced him over the years of the millions of different things and made Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And everything he does is original because it's shot through his lens.
Right. Unless you're Bjork, it's all been done before. And I think that is the test right there. Because Bjork is the only one on this planet. No one knows how she got here, for one. And for two, she's the only one that can do something so completely singular that no one can ever replicate it. I used to think that about Tom York, but then we got a little poppier later on. But it is entirely Bjork. Everything else, you know what? You're derivative, I'm derivative. We all, you're right. We all come from something. We're all here, and we all continue to be the people that we are because we are inspired by things. There's a difference between inspiration and copying.
Yeah.
And he does it. He definitely had his own voice with this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think with any of his movies.
That's when you see what's easy to see when you see somebody else directing his stuff is that they're trying to make it more conventional for their style. They're trying to make it more so it makes sense to them and thus makes sense to a broader audience. And Tarantino doesn't think like that.
He doesn't.
The great artists don't think like that. The great artists don't start making a movie and go, well, but somebody's going to say this about it, so I better do it this way. They just do it, and then they eat the consequences. You know, like the N-word in this movie is just said far too much. Needlessly.
Yeah.
But he didn't think about that when he was doing it. He just made the movie that he was making.
Right.
Which anyone can do. You just have to be willing to eat the consequences of your actions, which he did from Spike Lee, from Jesse Jackson, from the NAACP. They all made him eat the consequences of his actions, and he learned from it. And I think he's gotten better.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just a different time, Sean.
That's the thing that these cancel culture people don't understand. It's like, no, say the thing, be authentic. It's the inauthenticity of people like Ben Shapiro and those assholes who whine about cancel culture. Well, if I say that, then you're going to cancel me.
Why do you care?
Why do you care?
What
do you care what I think? Say the thing that people tell you, that you keep telling people you can't say. Just fucking say it.
If you're a horrible racist misogynist, just say it.
Right.
Because we know you are. We already know.
Stop trying to pretend that you're anything other than that.
Exactly.
If there is something in your head that people have told you, oh, you better not say that, fucking say it.
Say it.
Find out. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I agree.
That's why I don't believe in cancel culture at all, is that.
It's just not a thing.
I don't think it's a thing. Because everybody who's been canceled is still very successful.
Well, or you're like Ellen and you're just still very rich. You know what I mean? Like, you could still go on and exist in a world, but probably people don't give a shit, you know? It's fine if you don't like me, just give me money. Like, that's it. That's fine. I don't know.
Tarantino doesn't care what you think.
Right.
He's going to make the movie that he's making, and that's just it. And that's what great artists do, is you just make the thing and you let people feel how they feel about it.
And again, he grew a lot from this because, I mean, once you get to like Kill Bill and shit like that, like, damn.
Fuck yeah.
Damn. And it's powerful. And like, I remember mom saying, well, even our sister talking about how violent and bloody these movies are. That's not the point of the film. Yes, I mean, it adds a weight to it that it helps. It sets a tone.
The violence matters.
Yeah. the violence is a character in our film. I love it. You know, the city of New York was really the star of this film. I love say shit like that. But I would like to say that in Tarantino's like, you know what? The violence was its own character in this film. So, you know, the violence was a love letter to my parents. But there's a reason for it. And then outside of that, if you remove those and you just kind of think about the story without the violence, it's not going to be the same story. But it's still going to be enjoyable, oddly enough, just because it's really great dialogue. It's just written well. So
it's just written different.
It's written different.
The thing is, like, there's no other movie that sounds like this.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I think it's a weird comparison, but I said the same thing about Juno. It just doesn't sound like every other movie.
That's why Juno still is so good.
Yeah.
When you go back and watch it. Another powerful movie.
That's what makes Diablo Cody's work so fascinating, is that her movies don't sound like every other movie.
This is why I say this is like the Bjork of films. It really is. It's just no one else has done it like that. The sound, the everything. It's just better.
When Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson are having that conversation about food in the car, I mean, it's a mundane conversation, but there's nothing about them that is mundane, whether it's the way they talk or how they present the information that they're presenting. It feels like we've walked in on two friends who are having a conversation. One of them has just gotten back from vacation, and the other one's being a curious friend, and they just happen to be on their way to murder a couple people.
Oh, well, rest in peace, Frank Whaley.
Don't fuck over Marsellus Wallace.
I know, but Frank, he just wanted to eat a sandwich. I remember the first time we watched this together, and I got really upset about that.
What, his sandwich?
Because he was hungry, and it's like, and you're going to kill him?
See, I just kind of thought it was kind of senseless. All of it. I mean, I don't, and I hate senseless killing. If I cannot see why the anger is necessary, don't kill them,
right? Because
it's not necessary if there's no anger behind it.
But the point is, it sends a message. No matter how innocent you can be, don't fuck with Marsellus Wallace. That's just it. It's not really senseless. It's just sending a message.
It sets up who Marsellus Wallace is.
It's senseless to me because it's like, it's not worth it.
Well, then don't go hang out with Marsellus Wallace.
I'm not going to. I'm definitely not going to.
Definitely
I'm
don't.
the same way.
Definitely don't touch his wife's feet.
No.
Nowhere near his wife's feet, I guess. No. That's fine. I don't like touching my own feet.
No.
So I'm definitely not going to touch other people's feet.
Oh, God. Feet are so upsetting.
They really are.
Just some shoes on people.
Uma Thurman is shoeless so often in this movie.
She is, but you know what? She's pretty, so she gets a pass. And also, she's Uma Thurman. Really can fucking do anything she wants. She's fabulous in this, too. I love her. I absolutely adore her.
Again, it's not like everybody has the same energy. Everybody's got a different energy, but it's still different from every other movie energy.
Yeah. Well, you know what's weird? Like, you'd said it while we were watching the movie, too, about, the whole, we obviously know that she's clearly in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
When I first saw this back in high school, I did not give that a single thought. I thought she married a rich and powerful guy because she was young and she wanted a rich and powerful guy. And it changes everything watching that now, seeing what I've seen in my life. And it's like, wow, get out, bitch, get out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why her husband has her going places with his subordinates is because she's not allowed to have friends, which is the hallmark of like an abusive relationship where the abuser separates you from anyone who might be able to support you in any way.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody who tells you not to spend time with your friends or family is abusing you unless your family is abusive, which you...
Yeah, if they're like hitting you or
like
something.
If your family's bad, get away from them. But if you love your family and you're getting along with your family and somebody comes in and says, don't spend time with your family, that's an abuser.
I had an ex who, when I had friends come into town to visit, and it started off like, he was sending really cute messages. Have fun with your friends tonight. And then he started to call. And then it was like every 20 minutes he'd call. And then by the third hour, he was so mean. And he was just like, I just don't understand why I can't come over and meet your friends. I just can't understand why you need the girls. I'm just like, all right, you know what? This might be a red flag.
Yeah.
That might be a red flag. But again, when you're in it, you don't realize shit like that. You know what I mean? Imagine that. Like, and then you're dating a guy like Marsellus. He's so fucking powerful. Like he could have her killed at like any second.
Yep.
That's wild. But awful. Just awful.
Some of that, to also to match her energy. I'm sure there's some of that that's very exciting for her. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, her age and like the way, yeah. I mean, you get to live like that, and she does live on the edge. Let's face it, she'll snort at anything that puts in front of her. So, of course, sometimes she should just know what it is before she snorts.
But you can have the agency to make the choice to be with Marsellus Wallace and the agency to know that I'm choosing to be with my abuser and kind of enjoying some of what he does other than the abuse.
Terrifies me if that's the case.
But it's true though. I mean, there are aspects of him that he was attractive, he's powerful. Oh shit, I'm in this relationship. Some of that's kind of fun, but not the abuse part.
Oof.
And monetarily, you can have whatever you want.
I would like that reel-to-reel player. Not gonna lie. It's pretty sweet. Yeah.
But if somebody's abusing you, they don't love you. I mean, that's a fact.
I mean, if they're giving you money. Yeah. So aside from abuse, this film, still pretty good.
I mean, again, that's just an aspect of that character and that relationship that Tarantino doesn't even spell out. You just kind of figure that out through your own experience.
Right, exactly.
And that's that's, again, another hallmark of a great artist is to understand you don't need to spell out everything.
It's funny because I went and saw Dave Attell last night. And that was the whole thing of like what he was saying too. He's like, I shouldn't have to grab your hand and walk you through a joke. Either it's funny to you or it's not. And if it's not, well, you suck. But like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's so true. And I don't want a director or a writer to walk me through their story. I want to go on the adventure myself. They already had the story. They already wrote it. It's already out there. I'd rather just let in, if it's a testament to a good movie is, it's just good, and you figured it out.
Yeah,
that it was just good.
That's why I react so hard to like info dumps, like people who just tell you information. Like they'll just go into a bunch of dialogue that explains what's about to happen, and it's like, can't I just watch the movie and see that happen?
I'm not stupid.
My biggest pet peeve, though, is when someone walks in the room and goes, "Oh, my brother Dave, how are you?" Or, "Oh, hey, it's my coworker Jim." Oh, I guess they worked. I guess I couldn't see the context of them both standing behind the counter at a convenience store. They needed to spell it out further by saying, "This is my coworker."
I watched one. It was a show the other night where it's like two women, and one woman goes, "Well, you are my sister." I kind of deduced that when you were both saying "mom." You are, and it's like right at the beginning of the movie. It's like, yeah, you both have blonde. Okay, you are my sister.
Imagine if every week, like the Supernatural guys, they just looked at each other and just said, "I know you're my brother, but
look, hey, we came from the same womb." Dean. I know that's traumatic for you.
That dialogue will take me out of it. And there's never Tarantino does not do that.
No.
Either you're following along and you understand the dynamic that he's developing, or you don't. That's on you.
You know what it is? That's a testament. That is just to a pat Hallmark movie. You know you're watching Hallmark when they're announcing who they are to you. Hey, but I am your son. You're what? Now that would be a good movie.
I have to respond what? So then it gets interesting.
I have to go back to my small town, but then I've got to get back to the big city for my job.
I'm a high-powered woman in the big city.
Look, I don't have time for this small town stuff. I got to get back to the big city. Uh-oh, I'm falling in love.
Oh, it's painful.
Look, I am your cousin, but I'm also in love with you. Now that would be a movie.
Look, I know I was your 4th grade teacher.
Okay, that one you might have to walk me up to that one, so I do know, because that would be weird. And then her 4th grade teacher walks in. How are people gonna know who that is? They just wear a T-shirt that says 4th grade teacher on it. Like that would be great. I like that a lot. On here, we were worried we wouldn't be able to get through an hour of this. God, that's funny.
How about Ving Rhames in this movie?
Oh,
It's so good. I mean, so much of it, you do just see the back of his head.
that's powerful acting, son.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
And the legend building of Marsellus Wallace before you ever meet him.
Mhm.
You're afraid of him from that, from the feet story to him asking Travolta to watch his wife to just the things that they say about him.
Well, like that whole thing where, Bruce Willis's character, just basically bounces out of that window to get the fuck out of there. And then it goes back in to Marcellus and what's his name walks in and says,
Paul.
Yeah, not Paul, but Paul. Just Paul.
My name is Paul. This is between y'all.
Y'all. Yeah, he says, he goes, yeah, his manager says, and he doesn't know anything. I believe him. And then he's like, no, I don't care if you believe him. I don't take your word for it. Just take him out and, basically torture him to death until he says something. So yeah, he's ruthless. He does not give a shit about human life whatsoever.
I'm prepared to scour the earth for this motherfucker.
Yeah. And Sean's like, you should go to Princeton, Iowa.
They'd never find you.
No one will find you there.
No.
If you're looking for anonymity, you found the right place. It's called Princeton, Iowa. You got a Casey's and a Dollar General. Enjoy.
Just roll up in a houseboat. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. No, you'll look like everybody, but preferably be white. You want to blend in. You know what I mean? Because it's not full of diversity.
No.
Jesus.
It's not a diverse place.
Just feel like somebody's going to grab that audio and go, preferably be white. And then that's what's going to ruin me right there. They're going to grab that one bit of audio.
No one knows where Princeton is, so you'll be fine.
It's fine. Well,
you'll be fine.
I mean, I can give you longitude and latitude if you need. Depends on how you're going to try and get there. Yeah. It's a great place to go. But yeah. And he does find him, so.
It's about, just a bunch of hard people just trying to get as much money as possible to do whatever it is they're going to do.
Well, I guess that's the thing, though, too. It's like, you're doing all this for the power and the money, right? But when you get all that money, you're still always going to be looking, over your shoulder going, okay, who's going to kill me for that money? Like, it's a constant cycle. There's no winning in that. To me, that sounds like a constant anxiety-induced world to live in.
Unless you're Vincent Vega, because I think that's the simplest character, as much as like there may be some complexities there, but through Travolta's performance, but he's kind of like a loyal pet for Marsellus Wallace. Like, he's going to leave him alone with his wife. It's like, I'm just going to leave my wife with the dog. Like, that's like, Vincent's going to make sure she's safe and that he's going to leave her there at the end of the night and go home.
It's great. He's such a gentleman. He just tells himself, I'm going to go home and jerk it off to her. And, then I won't get in trouble. But that still skeeves me out. I do not remember that line when I first watched it, but now it's like reading. It's like, so that's what you do when you know you shouldn't have sex with the woman against her will. Just go home and yank it. Maybe look at a picture of.
Might not have been against her will. She seemed kind of into him, too. There seemed to be a mutual thing going on between the two of them.
There was something.
There was chemistry, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They dance well together. Suppose.
If she hadn't OD'd, there was something going on between the two of them.
And then more death would have ensued.
No, I think, but his motivations tend to be very simple. He just wants to get enough money to get some heroin and just do whatever Marsellus Wallace tells him to do. Whereas Jules is like, kind of has that. I think Jules starts the movie unsatisfied and remains kind of unsatisfied until he has that epiphany. And then that gives him a new purpose.
Yeah. His moment of clarity.
Yeah.
As the alcoholics say, my moment of clarity.
That scene in the diner is so good. Samuel L. Jackson should have got the Oscar just for that.
Just for that alone. I agree. I love seeing Tim Roth and Amanda Plummer, though, too. They're really good together. I love them. I love that he keeps calling him Ringo. Because you know what? I was thinking about this. You couldn't call him Paul, John, or George, because that could have been any white man's name. It's definitely Ringo.
Ringo's the only one that's going to stand out and tell you that's an English guy.
That's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Tim Roth.
There's also a little something edge about him being the Ringo.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Let's face it, you're not the most popular of the Beatles.
Nothing against Ringo. He is the least Beatle, though.
He is.
And honestly, Billy Preston might be a little more.
Probably. I mean, I don't hate to say that. I'm excited to say that. I think that's fine.
I was in the Peter Jackson documentary. They wanted him to be the fifth Beatle.
Can't blame him.
They loved him, and they worked so well with him.
They did. And then, then the movie.
Well,
I still love it, but that's fine. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would love to have seen, and I don't know, maybe this is just me misremembering, Jules's story go on after this. I would have been very curious to see.
What does he do? What does it mean?
Is he a bum?
Him?
Is he a bum the way that Vincent says he's going to be? Or is he like somebody like maybe he goes along and he helps people, but also don't fuck with him because he'll still kill you. You know what I mean? Like that, if they did a movie like that 30 years later with Sam doing the job, I fucking watched that movie so hard. I would love that movie.
My headcanon is just Jules just going from city to city, like doing dishes and just being humble.
Yeah.
Until he doesn't until somebody needs him to do something.
Well,
and then
until somebody fucks with him.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh shit, I didn't want to go back to this, And then he's like, I'm back on my shit again,
Oh. And you know what you call that movie? The Shepherd.
Oh my God. How has no one thought of this? Quentin, call us.
Because that's what he wants to be. He wants to be the shepherd. He doesn't want to be the tyranny of evil men.
No, I do, though. I mean, I'm not going to achieve it. I'm so poor. Let's face it. You have to have money to be in that game.
You have to have a gun. I don't have
That's
one
true.
of those.
No. I could get one. We have an uncle that sells them.
They sell them at Dollar General.
Dollar General. If we sold them at Dollar General, we'd be the only place that didn't have them like locked up somewhere. They'd just be back by the tampons. Good luck. How old are you?
Just a pile of shotguns that keep getting knocked over.
The little kids are going, Mommy, shotguns and Play-Doh. One Uzi and some Play-Doh, please. He's really into Hot Wheels and hot guns. And hot girls. Let's face it, he's 6. What do you want?
It's a Dollar General gun, so it may or may not shoot.
It probably just going to lock up.
Got a 50-50 shot if it's working or not.
I mean, you are going to scare the shit out of somebody at some point with it, but it's going to lock, and you're not going to realize it. Fuck! Goddamn Dollar General gun. Oh, shit. Well.
Maybe that's what the guy shot Jules and
yeah.
he came out of the bathroom shooting a Dollar General gun. That's why it missed.
Sponge bullet. God. It says like Kenner on the side of it. Whatever the toy brands are that are popular now. Oh.
Poor Phil Lamar.
Phil Lamar. Oh.
Gets his head blown off.
Right in the beginning, too. Oh, no, that was toward the end. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, were they trying to protect him? See, I don't remember that bit.
He was the one who was like, he got him inside to get them there, and I don't know if they planned to do with him exactly, but they weren't going to kill him.
Right.
But then Vincent just sort of pops his head like a balloon in the back seat.
I will say that both of them, though, I love them in shorts and T-shirts. I don't know. They both cut such great figures in those.
And introducing them in those clothes before.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute.
Exactly.
You don't know why they're in those clothes yet? And that's so cool. Weren't they just wearing suits?
Yeah. For some reason, I remember Samuel Jackson's T-shirt more than I remember Travolta's, just because it looked like a camp T-shirt, you know what I mean?
Travolta's I'll always remember that because it says banana slugs.
It does say banana slugs. I just missed that. Banana slugs. Again, little details.
Yeah.
Little details.
That's just totally ridiculous shit.
Yeah. Yep. I had to wonder, like, was Tarantino like giggling when he's doing little shit like that? He's like, you know what? Banana slugs. That'll look good. That'll be great.
That's the thing is like that you realize when you watch Tarantino is that he has chosen all of these details.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of these little things that would seem tossed off in another movie or that a director just wouldn't think of.
Yeah.
Like the shirt that Travolta's wearing, that's the shirt that he wanted.
That's the one.
Like Tarantino said, it's going to be very funny to put this guy in that shirt. Or then those shorts and those flip-flops.
Yeah.
It looks ridiculous. That's the joke.
That's the joke. One of my favorite moments, and of course I had to run to the restroom right when it was coming on, was Dee Medeiros' character. She was talking about how she wished she had a pot.
Yeah.
And that scene stuck with me from the very first time I saw the movie to this day. I will think of that scene for whatever reason. And he'd be like, you want to smoke pot? No, I want a pot belly. And I love her little thing about the pot belly. I thought it was very sweet. And of course, I'm in the bathroom, like I'm trying to hear her say that. She's just adorable. And I just want to give her a hug in this movie.
Those big eyes.
Yeah, those big eyes. I love her delivery. Yeah, she was great. She was absolutely great. But that little moment, I don't know why. Like, we think of those little things that stand out in Pulp Fiction. For me, it's that scene, and I know that's kind of weird, but I love
also,
it.
again, not to harp on Willis too much. I thought the tenderness that he shows initially was lovely, and he does feel bad after he goes crazy and tears apart the room. Because
as long as he apologizes. Depending on the brutality.
But he did feel bad about doing it. And, he's also knowing that he's going to have to risk his life now if he wants to go get it.
That's true. But he wants it. That's very true.
It's bit up his dad's ass for 5 years and his friend's ass for 2 more years.
I mean, I don't think anyone else should want to touch that.
I get it, but I think that kind of commitment, you almost have to go get it. You know what I mean?
You gotta honor that.
Aw. Chewy, did you swallow one of my dad's watches?
It's in his ass.
It's in his ass.
It's coming up.
That's... Why are we awful people?
No idea.
We just are.
It's good is that they didn't just repeatedly swallow the watch.
That's true. Oh, that's true.
That would have been horrifying.
Although I almost wonder. I don't know. Well, because for me, just because I think gay things a lot, I was thinking, what if Christopher Walken was having a thing with Bruce Willis's dad? That's how he knew about the watch up his ass.
Interesting.
And I kind of liked it because I'm like, as you're watching him talk about Bruce Willis's dad to his character, he's almost glowing. Like, this was a man that I don't know. I've seen a lot of Archer, and there's a whole little thing in there about that, like that very kind of same thing where they were 2 guys in the army and they fell for each other kind of thing. So it's like, that's where my mind went. Like, Christopher Walken is dedefinitely...
The only way they can truly express their love is by shoving that watch up each other's ass.
I mean, why do we have to say shoving? Because I think you can gingerly put something somewhere.
Lovingly placed in his ass.
Lovingly placed. Gently with a glove. Lovingly.
Sensitively. Sensuously.
Tracing lazy circles around his anus.
Then he tenderly
placing the watch inside of the cavity. You know what? He didn't believe in a glove because he loved him just as much, and he could just go wash his hands and he'd be like patting his butt and going, "That's right, honey, it's done." Oh, see, we just wrote a love story.
While I sat here wishing the dog would take me away.
Oh, just remember the word tenderly from now on. Whenever somebody says tenderly, you're going to have a triggered moment going, no, not his dad's watch. No.
I was messing with MJ earlier. I told them to tonight when they see people, because you're working tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
When they see people, to think of this, and this is going to ruin it for you too, because you're going to end up doing it in an audience. I'm going to do this for you. Look at someone and you just look them right in the eye, get a good look at them, and then decide in your head how they like to fart. Whether it's like really let one loose, or if they're ashamed. Which kind of farter are you?
Wow. I think I'm both. Because I think tummy shame is a real thing. But also, if I'm going to do it, I lean into it. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to give it the old college try.
Now try not to think of that when you see the next person you see.
I thought you were going to tell a story about how if you tell yourself you're not hiccuping, you're not hiccuping.
I heard that from Moist Critical Charlie. He said that thing, and I have not had hiccups since. This is true. So the cure to hiccups is if you get hiccups, you tell yourself, I don't have hiccups.
And then apparently for Sean, he tried it the other day and it worked.
It's worked like ever since I heard him say it. I've had the hiccups a couple times. I've said that and they immediately go away.
Yeah. Huh. See, I was always told to hold your breath, bend over, count to 3 in your head, and then they go away. But the last time I did that, I was drunk and then I fell on the garage floor and broke my tooth. So I don't recommend that. I mean, maybe if you're not drunk.
See, my mom always told me to pick a spot, stare at it, and breathe in and out deeply.
Oh,
That's what my mom always said.
That's a good one, too.
I always drink a lot of water.
I just feel like that's going to build the bubble.
It's just water. It's not like
it's still going
it's not
down.
carbonated.
It's the closing and the opening of the flap there.
That always worked for me. Was just drinking a cup of water, but I don't need to anymore because now I just tell myself I don't have hiccups and they go away.
I think of elderly people having sex and they just stop right there.
That just pretty much brings everything to an end.
I would like that to bring my life to an end.
What's the movie for next week?
I'm just remembering the Bill Hicks bit. You know, if you want to get rid of patriotism, just everybody's flag should be their parents having sex. Try saluting that, asshole.
Now I'm seeing faces, moments that weren't meant for me.
Suddenly you're less patriotic, though, aren't you?
Well, I've never been patriotic, so at least that's been in my favor.
I don't salute that flag anyway.
Oh. No, a flag where it's just blank and I don't have to think about anything. Now that's a flag I would salute. Thank you. What's
I like some pride flags.
Oh, yeah.
Salute.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh. I think those were two different O's.
Yes, they were.
And they really were.
Is there trepidation about the Shawshank Redemption?
For me, there is.
I enjoy the Shawshank Redemption.
Do you feel like Shawshank was redeemed, though?
I
don't know what the movie's about. I'm sorry. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know that there's some... I know it's going to be fraught with controversy, whatever, but I've never seen this movie. I'd seen clips here and there. I have no idea what it's about.
I'm still surprised that you haven't seen it.
It's one of those movies that was like Wyatt Earp. If I saw a commercial for it, I'm like, I'm never going to see that movie. I don't know why. Wyatt Earp is just brown looking.
For some reason, maybe it's just because the cast is all men. It's just a movie that's been associated with guys. It's one of those things where it's like Shawshank Redemption is a movie where guys are allowed to cry and no one can judge them.
That's like Green Mile is Shawshank Redemption Part 2.
Yeah, like Brian's song.
Yeah. It's a man's movie.
Field of Dreams.
Oh, God, I hate that movie.
Field of Dreams?
Yeah. I know, but it's baseball. That's for boys.
But what about...
you know what I mean? If we're going down that route, but no.
James Earl Jones' speech in that movie is...
Okay, fine. Could we just have that speech? Just that speech and then just cut it out. I'd watch that just because it's James Earl Jesus.
I've not watched that speech since he died, and I think if I did, I'd probably cry endlessly. Like I cried during the Superman documentary. My God.
Yeah.
Superman, the Chris Reeve story. Oh my God.
I'm going to pass on
I
that.
cried 12 minutes in.
No.
And then 3 more times before it was over.
Absolutely not. I like not feeling things. So I'm not going to watch that. Just keep me numb. Just keep me numb.
Yeah, but just feel your feelings, guys. It'll come out a lot easier if you just feel your feelings when you have them.
That's so
as opposed to just like suppressing everything. Like, just let it go, man.
It's like if you're a dude and you didn't cry at, like, let's say, well, here's a Fair to Remember, something like that. That's a huge moment in the end of that. Like he didn't know and she didn't want to tell him. And that's that big moment. It's like what they did in Sleep in Seattle. It's like, I wish that people would laugh less at men crying and like just go, hey, bro, that's cool. Exactly. Feel your feelings. Why does it have to be a man-woman thing?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Your masculinity is not affected by, I am no less a man because I cried because Christopher Reeve inspired me.
No.
Like,
you're not fragile either, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fragile.
That's why I'm the alpha.
What does it mean when a kid calls you a Sigma?
MJ, you have to explain.
God,
You're the youngest person here. You have to explain.
Because a little kid at my work called me a Sigma, and I
heard
don't
that
know
a
what that
couple
means.
times last night.
Yeah.
At the haunt, and it was like, no, thank you.
No.
I think it. As far as I can tell, it means you're a cool person.
Oh.
But you still don't want to be one because that's a horrible word. I don't like that word at all.
Well, you've never been a fan of that whole.
But we all did it, though. That's the thing. Is like we need no. Every generation, every child, everyone did it. Where you came up with your own language that your parents didn't understand,
Except for skibbity toilet.
Well, apparently they've got to go in such a direction that they've got to find something that they definitely know that people won't understand.
We said cool. We said awesome. In the early 90s, we said groovy. Because we liked the 70s.
But we also
60s,
were incredibly sarcastic, and our parents didn't know what sarcasm was.
Well, that's true.
Boomers didn't know what sarcasm was.
Well, maybe if they would have spent an hour more a night with us, instead of just leaving us home alone.
Or running the streets.
Drinking
out of hoses like maniacs.
You want to burn your tongue? Is that why you did that? Kids out there. Drinking water out of hose.
I drank out of the hose.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't think I've ever had water from a hose, ever.
Neither of you have ever drinking water from a hose?
No.
I'm sure I probably did, but I don't have like a memory. It's not like a core memory.
No, it's not. It shouldn't be a core memory.
That is such memories like
no,
that.
There's this thing that Gen Xers have been doing because we're getting old now, and we're like all the things are like we had a rotary phone. Oh, you had the phone was attached to the wall.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, that's if you went to your grandparents, because at our house, we had wireless phones. You know what I mean? Cordless phone. You just go into another room. Shut up about your phone. Or just
it'll happen to you.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, because eventually you're going to reminisce with people your own age about things you did that no one else did. It's about defining yourself apart from the other people. Like, when a lot of kids, when they're fighting with their parents, when they're coming up, just if you think your child is just arguing with you for no good reason, all they're really trying to do is just define who they are away from you. They're trying to find something that they can have that is theirs that doesn't belong to their parents. And that's oftentimes a lot of small arguments that you don't understand are really about them trying to find something that isn't yours that they can claim as their own.
Hmm.
That's why I got into the Nation of Islam.
Yeah, obviously.
When I was 16.
Obviously.
I started studying Islam because I wanted to define myself away from my mom, who was a Catholic. And I wanted to have something that she couldn't have, and I knew it would bother her.
You told her you were an atheist.
That one was true.
Okay. Because that I remember. But I don't know.
Everybody does it. You're not special sure, you had something. There was something that you picked up along the way that was different from you don't love everything that your dad loves.
Oh, God, no.
Some of that stuff you picked up, and it turned into either a genuine love or it always was. But the bottom line is there was something that you knew that he didn't like that you picked up and made your own, made part of you, simply because you were creating your own identity away from your parents.
That one time I walked in and You knew how much your mom hated tomatoes, so you just took one right off the counter and just ate it like an apple in front of her and smiled at her like you were going to kill her. You made tomatoes your own.
That's probably the most rebellious, like, I wasn't a rebellious person.
Same.
No,
I really
but
wasn't.
I mean,
either.
I didn't like Harry Potter movies because my mom liked Harry Potter movies, and now
Then that changed.
like-
Yeah.
like, yeah, I like that. You know,
well, we don't like the monster who made them. Fuck that
No.
bitch.
Fuck that bitch.
Fuck
Fuck that bitch. Also, when we get our merch going, fuck that bitch. We'll do it.
Yeah.
With her face on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
we're gonna send the time pop back in time
Yep.
to murder JK after she writes the
After she
novels.
writes the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if I want. I don't know if I want her murdered.
Maybe we'll plant the seed in someone else's head earlier, and then they'll write it instead.
A good person.
Yes.
What if
trustworthy
so
person.
the final manuscripts are all written. So somebody goes back and takes all of them, and then gaslights her into thinking, it's like, no, JK, I wrote these.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're. Remember, I dictated them to you. You wrote them down on a napkin in a cafe, and she's like, "Oh, well, guess I'll fuck off now." And then she gets a job at Tesco's. I am here for that. I would like that story.
That would be a good story.
Yeah. She works at Tesco's.
So you've never seen Shawshank,
No.
and you know nothing about it.
I know that Tim Robbins is in it, and Morgan Freeman. That's somebody standing in the rain. And that is the soundtrack cover from the movie.
Interesting.
That's what I remember.
This will be a fascinating experience. I've never sat with somebody who's not seen this movie.
I guess I'm looking forward to it. Bring on next week.
Just learn nothing more about it.
I
between now and
don't
then.
want to, because it doesn't look interesting to me at all. So.
I didn't think that either, and then I actually liked it. I was surprised.
I know for a long time I hated it just because I didn't like the people who liked it.
Yeah.
That
You know
makes
what?
sense.
I think that's a problem in our family, because we know you're I could tell you were a Dave Matthews Band fan before you even walked in my store. I could see you rounding the corner, and then you're going to buy all the Fish's live albums. I knew that. We're like that. Our family's always been like that. We don't like to like things that assholes, douchebags like.
I only recognize it after meeting and talking to Bob, who simply doesn't like Star Wars because he doesn't like Star Wars fans.
Which I respect. I respect that. He's wrong, but I respect that. Because, yeah. That's like me in Grease. I will always champion Grease, too, because people who like Grease also love that remix that came out in the early 2000s that made me want to just off myself. If you liked that single and you bought that single, we're probably not friends.
The Grease Megamix.
Oh, God, kill me. No, absolutely.
My biggest one is if I don't like, I have a hard time with people who like Tony Montana. What's it?
Scarface.
Scarface.
Yeah.
Like I feel like most people who like that have never seen the movie.
Yeah. Watch the movie, folks. Yeah. You go to somebody's house and they'd have that movie poster up, but they've never seen the movie because he just exudes power. Dude, he gets shot fucking up and there at the end. Again, no, absolutely not.
He's not an anti-hero. He's not a Robin Hood. He's just a piece of shit. Beginning to end, and the movie's not very good.
Right.
It's not a very good movie. Sorry. No.
And stop telling me that you love the Godfather movies when you have never seen them. I hate you. I hate people like you. Oh, it's just this is one of the greatest, sets of films of all time. When did you last watch it?
that bit in Barbie is one of the best jokes I've ever heard in my life. Is that joke about the girls just walking up to the guys to try to distract them and say, can you explain the Godfather to me?
So good. My God, it's so good. Barbie's a fucking masterpiece. Jesus Christ.
H-Bomber guys got this video about pickup artists.
Yeah.
One of the best videos I've ever seen on YouTube. And he's opening and he's talking to these people who might be into pickup artist. And he's like, do you list The Big Lebowski and The Shawshank Redemption as your favorite movies? Well, I've got something for you.
Oh, Lebowski is so good, though.
Lebowski's great, but a lot of the people who like Lebowski don't actually like Lebowski.
That's true.
They like quoting it, but they don't. You don't get the you like the lyrics. You don't know the music.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said.